This is question 2 from chapter 6, which is the residual chapter of the regression models book. The question says, refer to question 1, which I have above it, and it says directly estimate the residual variance and compare this estimate to the output of LM. If you haven't already watched the video for question 1, where we figured out how to perform a residual plot. So the point of this question is to remind ourselves what the residual variance is estimating. So the residual variance is estimating the sum, well, first of all, how is the residual variance calculated? It's the sum of the residuals squared divided by n minus p, where p is the number of regression parameters. So in linear regression, p would be 2. And that's going to estimate sigma squared, where sigma squared is from our y equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x plus epsilon. Epsilon, our variance is going to have, we're going to assume has a mean 0 and a variance sigma squared. So that variance, the variance of our residual, is what is called the residual variance. And so the estimate of the residual variance is just the sum of the squared residuals divided by n minus p. So let's just go ahead and verify this so we know what R is doing behind the scenes. So we've already fit our linear model, and we've just assigned it fit as LM, son's height is the predictor, father's height. Son's height is the outcome, and father's height is the predictor. So if we take resid of fit, that returns the residuals. If I take the sum of resid of fit, that adds up the residuals. So by the way, that should be very close to 0, because remember, whenever we include an intercept, the sum of the residuals should be about 0. So if I take sum of resid fit squared, that should be the sum of the squared residuals. And then I want to divide that by n minus 2, where in this case n is the number of rows of the data frame, just the number of records that we have. So it's number of row father.son minus 2. And so that we get 5.936804. If I want to see it from the actual what LM's calculation gave us, I could do summary fit, but I don't want to show you all the output from summary. I'm just going to grab sigma, make sure it's squared, and you can see that it's of course the right number. So really the residual variance is nothing other than the sum of the squared residuals divided by n minus the number of parameters. And that is again the estimate of the variation that's left over after what has been explained by our regression model.